Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Poppy Playtime series, because in the last few hours some really interesting material has been circulating and it definitely deserves a proper analysis. In this video we'll focus on Poppy Playtime Remake, the remake of Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. A project that is getting a lot of attention from the community, especially after the release of new official material and a brand new teaser shared directly by the developers on Discord. During the video, we'll take a look at all this content and try to understand what it really tells us about the state of the game and what we can expect from the final version. Before that though, it's important to clarify one key point. Poppy Playtime Remake is not developed by Mob Entertainment, but by Occulta Studio. This means it's a fan project, not an official title. That said, this is not the usual random fan project, because this remake has gained a lot of attention from fans and keeps growing more and more. The developers want to recreate the first chapter of Poppy Playtime, focusing on a stronger horror atmosphere, improved graphics, and a more unsettling environmental design compared to the original game. On top of that, this won't be a simple remake. It will also include completely new and exclusive areas that were not present in the original game. One example is the cafeteria, a brand new location that could add lore, tension, and new gameplay dynamics. Throughout the video, we'll analyze the material shown so far, talk about the official teaser, and try to understand whether this remake really has the potential to deliver a different and more intense experience compared to the original, or if it will remain just an interesting curiosity for fans. Before we start, don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoy this type of content, because it helps the channel a lot, and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming videos about Poppy Playtime series, teasers, and new theories. With that said, let's get started. First of all, let's take a look at the new official teaser trailer released by Occulta Studio. What you are seeing right now on screen is the teaser that the developers shared directly on Discord. At the moment, in fact, it has not yet been uploaded to their YouTube channel, so this is content that many people may have missed. This teaser was released as a thank you to the community, because the second gameplay video of the project reached 100,000 views, an important milestone for a fan project. This already gives us an idea of how much interest there is around Poppy Playtime Remake and how closely the community is following the development of the game. The teaser we are analyzing now is made in a VHS style, as if it were an old recording recovered from a damaged or corrupted tape. The image is dirty, disturbed, with visual glitches and imperfections typical of a ruined analog recording. This stylistic choice is not random, because it perfectly recalls the disturbing and mysterious atmosphere that has always characterized Poppy Playtime, especially when it comes to hidden material or documents from the past. For this reason, the video may seem confusing at first glance, but by analyzing it carefully, several interesting details emerge. Some shots last only a few moments. Others are almost hard to distinguish, but overall they give the impression that the remake wants to push much more on the narrative and atmospheric side. It does not seem like a video made just to show something, but rather to suggest, to leave open questions and fuel curiosity. In this teaser, you can clearly feel Occulta Studio's intention to build tension rather than directly showing gameplay or environments in an explicit way. It is a different approach compared to classic trailers, and in my opinion it is also a coherent choice with the idea of making this remake closer to a real horror experience, where not everything is explained right away. Now let's move on to analyzing some information taken directly from the teaser trailer. Let's start with this first screenshot. In this image, we can clearly see the presence of a yellow Huggy. This detail immediately stands out, because in the official Poppy Playtime Chapter 1, there is no yellow Huggy at all. In the original game, we only saw the blue version, so the appearance of this color instantly opens up several interpretations. Now, it's very important not to jump to conclusions too quickly. The fact that a yellow Huggy appears in the teaser does not automatically mean that it will be a new enemy or a central character in the remake. It could simply be a reference, maybe something more subtle. For example, it could be connected to a plush toy, a collectible item, or an environmental detail, rather than an actual antagonist. We know that a yellow mini Huggy already received a lot of attention in later chapters, especially in Poppy Playtime Chapter 2. In the game station, Mommy Longlegs had hung the mini Huggies from the ceiling, but the yellow one was missing. This detail was never directly explained, and because of that, it became the subject of many theories. According to some theories, the yellow mini Huggy might have escaped, or it may have never been captured like the others. The yellow Huggy Wuggy could simply be an Easter egg for more attentive players, a hidden connection to the broader Poppy Playtime lore. We have to remember other information. The mini Huggy Wuggies officially appear in Chapter 2, not in Chapter 1. For this reason, it's hard to imagine them being directly introduced into the remake of the first chapter, especially if the goal is to stay coherent with the original game structure. This further supports the idea that the yellow reference is something symbolic or environmental, rather than a real gameplay addition. In any case, the presence of this detail shows that the remake is not just recreating the same scenes from the original, but with new expansions and new contents. Now let's analyze some screenshots that do not come from the teaser, but are still official screenshots published by Occulta Studio on Discord. Even in this case, we are talking about very interesting images, because they allow us to better understand the overall approach of the remake, especially from an atmospheric point of view. What you are seeing right now on screen is the factory entrance, the exact point where Poppy Playtime Chapter 1 begins. It is the very first room of the entire series, the place where the whole experience starts. For this reason, it is a very important choice to show it, because it represents the first impact the player has with the environment and with the tone of the game. Compared to the original game, the difference is immediately noticeable. The atmosphere is much darker and more horror-oriented. The lighting is reduced, the shadows are stronger, and the environment conveys a much more intense sense of abandonment. The floor and the walls have damaged, dirty, worn-out textures, which give the impression of a place that has been left untouched for many years. In the original Poppy Playtime, instead, this same area felt different. It seemed like you were entering a factory that had been closed only recently, as if the activity had stopped just a few weeks before. The environments looked cleaner and more orderly, and the horror mainly came later as you progressed through the game. In this remake, on the other hand, the concept of an abandoned factory is communicated right from the start. There is no calm or neutral introduction phase. As soon as we enter, the game immediately makes it clear that we are in a disturbing, decaying place filled with a dark past. This is a precise artistic direction choice, aimed at making the horror experience more consistent and continuous from the very beginning. From this screenshot alone, we can already draw an important conclusion. The idea of a true horror game set in an abandoned factory is not built gradually, but shown immediately, right from the very first moments of the game. This approach could make the remake more immersive and more tense, because the player never really feels safe, not even at the start. And it is exactly this kind of difference, even in a room we know very well, that shows us how Occulta Studio is not simply remaking Chapter 1, but is trying to reinterpret it, keeping the original structure while deeply changing the way the atmosphere is delivered to the player. Honestly, I can't wait to try this remake. Just looking at the screenshots and gameplay teasers, we can see that the developers are doing a great job, and I'll be very happy to complete this project. Thanks so much for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next updates. Bye bye and see you soon.